program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know that. I know it. It does not matter who the host is. What matters is who the listeners are. That's always been the important portion of what's going on. Anyways, today's Friday, July the 7th. Oh, yes, we are already along that far down the path. Isn't that hilarious on how sometimes those things work? So it is, the year 2023, day 188th day of the year, just for us to talk about. And then what else? Well, of course, there's 177 days left to go. We are broadcasting live. Oh, let's do the time. Yes, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known, well, as that other place that we do things at.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yes, infiltration and Radio Big is the things that go side and side together as we are talking. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about for sure as we are hanging and banging on this lovely day. So let's start talking immediately about what the hell was trending in the overnight.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about it real quick. A delivery driver gets axed out over a rude behavior, but maybe he's just stressed about paying for expensive new car. We can talk about that. The Eagles have announced their final farewell tour, and Drake is the latest celeb to be beamed with a phone. So we'll talk about that. And let's see, what else? We got, it's freeform. So what does that mean? Freeform means that we're going to do everything today in regards of what we're doing, hanging out, and all that kind of fun stuff. So be on the lookout for that today as we are talking. Well, I love when the radio station starts blasting right away throughout the beamer-eamer of everything that is going on. So there you go. So some fun times in regards of that, no doubt about it, as we are hanging and banging, doing the things that we get to do. If you want to interact with the show on Freeform Friday, simple process on doing so, go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com, and that'll get everything moving and grooving for you. We will go through all the nonsense that we didn't get to cover throughout the week, because why wouldn't we do that? And of course, with it being a 3-day week in regards of some of the work stuff, well, you know that it's going to be very limitado on what the hell we have going on. So with that being said, why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and get us all started in regards of what is going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that would seem to be like an important thing to do right now. So let's bring in some professional newscasters and let them start talking about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. The White House is brushing off former President Trump's claim cocaine found in the West Wing belonged to President Biden and his son.
There does seem to be some increasing frustration coming from that corner in general. I think it is probably rooted in the contrast between their substantive policy records.
Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates told reporters the Biden administration has succeeded in securing large infrastructure and manufacturing investments while the Trump administration failed to do so. Small bag of cocaine was found in a common area of the West Wing Sunday while the Biden family was away at Camp David for the 4th of July holiday. Former Trump White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany disagrees with her former boss. She said Thursday on Fox News that the timing doesn't make sense since Hunter Biden hadn't been in the White House for at least 72 hours before the bag was found. The U.S. will begin supplying Ukraine with cluster munitions, according to multiple reports. The Pentagon is expected to announce today that President Biden has approved Kyiv's request for the weapons. The move bypasses a U.S. law prohibiting the production, use, or transfer of cluster munitions with a failure rate of more than 1%. 27 people are hospitalized after a New York City MTA bus crashed with a double-decker tour bus Thursday night in Manhattan. Andrew Whitman with more.
As many as 81 people were injured or seeking treatment after the crash, half of whom were reportedly pedestrians. That number was down to 50 people by 11 p.m. FDNY officials say they believe all the hospitalized will survive and that most of the injuries were cuts and scrapes with a few broken bones. It happened around 7 p.m. at East 23rd Street and 1st Avenue. Fire officials say a Top View sightseeing tour bus ran the light going north on 1st and T-boned the other bus. Both appeared to be full at the time. The tour bus driver is expected to be cited, but is unlikely to be charged with a crime.
Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign says it raised $20 million in 2023's second fundraising quarter. More from Brian Shook.
Thursday's announcement comes roughly 6 weeks after the Republican launched his White House bid in late May. Never Back Down, a political action committee supporting DeSantis' run, says it's raked in $130 million since launching back in March. Meantime, former President Trump's team revealed this week that it brought in $35 million during the second quarter.
The suspect who threatened to blow up a Seattle-bound plane faces federal charges. Brad Ford reports.
Court documents show 38-year-old Brandon Scott handed a note to flight attendants that his carry-on bag contained homemade explosives and he held a detonator. If the plane landed in Seattle, he threatened to kill everyone on board. The pilots landed in Spokane. All of the passengers were evacuated. The plane was searched and nothing was found. Scott has a criminal history that includes kidnapping and robbery. Scott told police he thought the Sinaloa cartel was going to kill him.
There's been a shocking twist in the investigation into a missing Texas teen who was found alive after vanishing 8 years ago. Houston police say that Rudy Farias was living with his mother the whole time, and she was keeping him hidden using a fake name.
Both Janie, Rudy's mother, and Rudy himself gave fictitious names while interacting with various patrol officers.
Lieutenant Christopher Zamora says they don't know why the pair lied to police, but they deny reports there was drugs and sexual abuse in the home. Ferris's mother could face a misdemeanor charge for lying about a missing persons case. Taylor Swift's Speak Now. Taylor's Version album is out now. The new version of her 2010 release features collaborations with Hayley Williams from the band Paramore and features Fall Out Boy. Swift said she decided to reach out to artists who influenced her most powerfully as a lyricist when she was working on Speak Now the first time around. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial. This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with BIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN. These days, it can be hard to find and hire the right candidates for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs made it easier to find the people that you want to talk to faster and for free. I have to tell you, even before they ever became a sponsor here on Safety FM, we have used LinkedIn Jobs to help find the people that we have here on Safety FM. It's an easy service to use. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified candidates. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so if you're having to sneak over from Radio Big, apparently it's not connecting over there, just so you know where we're at. You know, I keep it real. You know, most people be like, don't talk about it. I don't care. Because, you know, if you're going to Radio Big and it's only playing music, guess what? Means it's not working. So that's what's going on. Anyway, so let's start talking a little bit. It is 14 minutes past the top of the hour because, you know, that's what we do. I don't know. Why do people get pissed off about me being a realist? I mean, I just always thought that was the way to do things. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit more. Lawyers for Twitter have already lobbed a bomb at Meta for the rollout of their Threads app billed as a text version of Instagram. The letter accuses Meta to systematic, willfully, and unlawfully misappropriation of Twitter trade secrets or other intellectual property, followed by a direct threat that Twitter will take legal actions if necessary. The accusation comes based on Meta's recent hiring of former Twitter employees. Remember, Twitter's headcount is down by thousands since Elon Musk completed his purchase of the platform late last year. This is via Semaphore. So here's the thing. You're going to get pissed about people leaving you to go to Instagram or Meta. I wonder how pissed off people should be at Chevron, and should they sue Tesla because of them actually, you know, taking people from Chevron? I mean, is this kind of a weird thing? Or Shell or any other gas company or car manufacturing company? It's just weird. I mean, it's just weird. I understand that you're not going to like that people are competing with you in the market. I get it. It makes sense. But really? This is what we're going down to?
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining.
Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to be something, all right. We just haven't figured out what the hell it is that I'm trying to be. Anyways, a DoorDash driver's bizarre interaction with a customer went viral earlier this week after the customer's doorbell camera recorded the driver swearing at the woman for leaving what he believed to be insufficient tip. The driver since then telling the customer, I just want to say that it's a nice house for a $5 tip. The woman replies, you're welcome. As he turns away, the driver says, fuck you. Now DoorDash says that they've booted the driver from using the platform. Respectfully asking for the tip is acceptable, but abusing or harassing someone is never acceptable, DoorDash said in a statement. Worth noting, the woman left apparently a $5 tip on a $20 order, which is 25%, which is pretty generous. Worth asking, when did tipping expectations hinge on customers' ability to pay? Sounds like they're from each according to their ability, as a certain German philosopher would have said in the recent past. So there you go. It gets kind of weird when you start getting about this tipping thing. Listen, tipping is tipping, and you do the thing. I mean, we have gotten to this weird tipping culture that I still do not understand on how tips are expected on a job where somebody will actually just hand something over from a counter and hand it to you. I mean, it's just kind of weird. I understand, hey, listen, she gave 25%. I don't know what the expectation is. So here's my question to you, because this one is going to be a weird one. Imagine, you are aware that Apple, if you're depending on the area that you live in, Apple can do same-day delivery on some of the products they carry if you have an Apple store close to you. So should you tip 20% of that because, you're close to the Apple store? I'm just asking the question because it gets kind of weird. So there you go. There you go. So there you go. Some weird stuff going on right there as we are going on. So what do you think? Take a listen.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of stuff, a lot of things, a lot of movement and collusion. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there for sure as we are talking about what is happening inside of the world of expectations and movements and all that kind of fun stuff. So take a listen to this, because a fifth of new car buyers are spending more than $1,000 a month on their car payment. $1,000 a month on their car payment. The average monthly car payment, regardless of age of the vehicle, is now $733. It even gets worse. The vast majority of people financing a vehicle are stretching the loan terms from 67 months to 84 months with interest around 9.6%. Think about that. I mean, I'll tell you, number one, if you hang out and take a listen to Dave Ramsey, he will tell you that you're absolutely crazy by doing that. But boy, has things changed. I remember when I started really looking into this, the average car payment was $452. $452. Now we're at $733. And don't get me wrong, these newer, fancier cars are exactly that. They're fancy. But can you imagine that? A $733 car payment. I remember I had a friend, I want to say early 2000s, had a Mercedes-Benz $1,600 a month car payment. I was like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. But hey, everybody has to do whatever they need in regards of doing whatever they want. It is your money, but that will prevent you from doing a lot of things. Just keep that in mind. Anyways, etiquette expert William Hansen has shared his top tips for being a polite house guest. First, he says that arriving on time, though not on the dot, is a good way to start things off. Arriving anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes after the set time is acceptable. Next, Hansen says that his host prepares a beverage the guest should offer to clean up at the end of the visit, but the host says no to the offer and leave it be. Another well-mannered thing the guest should do is never refuse hospitality from the host. An example would be that the host offers some food or a drink, just accept it. Even if you only drink half of it, it's rude to say no, Hansen stated. The rest of the guidelines, including acknowledging the host's children or pets, taking off your shoes when entering the home, and returning the favor by inviting the host over at a later date. Lastly, Hansen says most importantly, the thing that needs to be remembered is that the host is in charge the entire day. So making alternative suggestions is not a good thing. So there you go. That is via the Sun. So I don't know. So would this cause you to want to invite more people to your house? I mean, if you're in control of the whole day, well, damn, that changes a lot of things. Think about it. I mean, I'm just saying. So there you go. Anyways, could you imagine hiccuping a whole day? How about a week? How about a month? What about 68 years? Yeah, Iowa's farmer Charlie Osborne holds the Guinness World Record for the longest attack of hiccups after a farming accident that from him in hiccuping 20 times a minute for 68 years. Hiccuping started back in 1922 when Osborne was hanging a 350-pound hog, lost his balance and fell down. He didn't think much about it until he started hiccuping nonstop. While it is unknown exactly what caused Osborne's chronic hiccups, physicians Terrence Anthony said that perhaps the fall impacted portions of his brain that inhibit hiccuping mechanism. Seeking different medical opinions, trying several different techniques to get rid of the hiccups, including his friends trying to scare them away, shooting a .22 caliber behind his head. Osborne said that nothing seemed to work. Then in 1990, they suddenly stopped. Sadly, Osborne passed away in May of 1991, so only got less than a year of enjoying to be hiccup-free. This is according to the Post. Also sounds like a slow news day when you have to bring stuff like this up. Just throwing that out there, by the way, in regards to that. Anyways, let's do this. Let's bring some John Smalls inside of our life and let him tell us about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the market.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, July 7th, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets retreated Thursday after mixed news from the labor market. The ADP report was the news of the day, and it came in much hotter than expected. The data suggests resiliency within the labor market that will underpin wage inflation and inflation this year. Contrary to the ADP, the JOLTS data contracted more than expected, suggesting tightening conditions within the labor market. The takeaway for investors is that the FOMC should be expected to continue hiking rates as indicated, but the end of the cycle is getting closer. The question that remains is how hard the landing will be. Will the U.S. tip into recession in 2023? Today's action will be driven by the non-farm payroll report. If it comes in as hot as the ADP or even close, the S&P 500 will likely continue its decline. If so, the line to watch is at 4,300. The summer rally may continue if the market can sustain that level of support. If not, the next major stock market correction may have just begun. You can get the inside track at MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, thank you very much for what exactly is going on. So, that is for sure, because, hey, we need to definitely know what's going on inside of the world. That is for sure. So, there you go. Let's get moving and grooving in regards of everything that is on inside of here. Let me tell you exactly what I was able to find on my side of the equation. The Dow lost about 366 points to close at 33,922. The S&P lost about 35 points to close at 4,411, and the NASDAQ lost about 111 points to close at 13,679. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.52 on Thursday, so just so you know. West Texas Intermediate closed at $71 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $76 a barrel. Let's see, Bitcoin slid a bit Thursday, trading just under $30,300, and there was more than 3,900 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Thursday, and about 190 such cancellations. Tonight's Make a Million drawing will be for $427 million jackpot or a $220.6 million cash payout. Saturday night's Powerball drawing will be for, $590 million jackpot or a $304.8 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. There is no reason not to play unless you're just not a player. And that's okay. Doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. Just it's a playing kind of thing. I don't know. People like to play those games, and more power to them in regards to doing that. I'm not a big a receptor of playing those games, but hey, whatever you have to do, just do it. Anyway, so there you go. Some information always going around and about and all that. Take a listen to this real quick. We're talking about playing the game. Both the Powerball and Mega Million lottery jackpots have been growing with no winner since April. Take a listen to what the Iowa Lottery says that is turning heads.
Powerball is at about $590 million for its next drawing on Saturday, and then Mega Millions is at $427 million. I think the jackpots have reached that level where people are perking up their ears and paying more attention maybe than they did.
So there you go. The Mega Million drawing is for tonight. So be on the lookout. Take a listen to this. A former assistant principal is suing Donda Academy, the private school funded by Ye. The artist formerly known as Kanye West, Daniel Martindale, has more info.
A new lawsuit says the school was in violation of several health and safety codes and claims teachers faced retaliation after reporting issues. Donda Academy first opened as Yeezy Christian Academy in Simi Valley in 2020. It got a new name and was relocated to Chatsworth the following year. The former assistant principal says faulty electrical wiring led to a fire in the students' dining area. He also says there was a skylight without glass in the main classroom, allowing rain to fall directly inside. He claims there was no glass because Ye didn't like glass. I'm Daniel Martindale.
That's a little crazy when you start thinking that about everything that's going on there. There is no doubt about that. Anyways, overall crime is down in New York City, despite vehicle thefts being a big problem. Scott Pringle has more.
Auto thefts have been a big problem in recent months, and that trend continues. Crime stats for June show vehicle thefts shot up 23% compared to June of last year. Transit crime went up 18% in June. However, overall major crimes are down by about 4% compared to June of last year. And that includes a sharp drop in rapes and burglaries. Meanwhile, shootings year to date are down about 25%. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Scott Pringle, for the information on what is going on, because, hey, those things are much needed for us to be able to talk about. There is no doubt about that as we are talking. Take a listen to this real quick. Iowa State University Creamery is celebrating the National Ice Cream Month. Sarah Canova of the ISU Creamery says there's a new flavors to try every day.
We have over 20 flavors of ice cream that we have created. We scoop 6 a day just due to our constraints of our dipping cabinet, but we rotate those throughout the week.
Okay, so they make about 150 gallons of ice cream per week. They also make cheese, and they are located at the ISU Food Service Science Building and are open in the afternoons Monday through Saturday. The creamery also puts about 150 gallons of ice cream out each week for sale, and they're always developing new flavors.
We are doing a s'mores flavor, so putting the final touches on that s'mores flavor to release this late summer, early fall. A peppermint for the winter, and then a coconut berry.
Coconut berry. So there you go. Anyways, the number of fireworks-related complaints in Simi Valley was down for the 4th of July, but that doesn't mean that no one got in trouble. Daniel Martindale explains.
There were 200 fireworks calls in Simi Valley between midnight on July 4th and midnight on July 5th. That's 93 fewer than last year. But during the 5-day 4th of July weekend, 30 people were cited and 2 were arrested. Simi Valley police also seized more than 100 pounds of illegal fireworks. There were no reports of fireworks-related injuries in the city this year. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, thank you, Daniel Martindale, for that one. A child is dead and her parents are facing charges in Florida. Michael Kastner has the details.
In Bartow, Florida, the Polk County Sheriff says a baby girl died Wednesday morning after her parents left her in their car overnight. 33-year-old Joel Rondon and his 33-year-old wife Jasmine were allegedly drinking and doing drugs at a party Tuesday night. When they drove home around 2 a.m., they took their 6-year-old and 8-year-old to bed, but they left their 18-month-old in the car. She remained there in her car seat for 9 hours until she was found dead around 11 a.m. Wednesday. The sheriff says the parents tested positive for alcohol and drugs, including meth. They're each charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child. I'm Michael Kastner.
I don't even know what to say when you come to stories like that. That's stuff that you start hearing, thinking about it, and you go, damn. I mean, what the hell's going on? That is for sure as we are talking. Take a listen to this one real quick. The MTA and police are blaming the driver of a tour bus for running a red light, causing a crash in Manhattan last night, injuring dozens of people. Scott Pringle has more.
The FDNY says a double-decker tour bus crashed into an MTA bus on 1st Avenue by East 23rd Street around 7 o'clock. Transit President Richard Davey.
This tour bus behind us seemed to have blown a red light and T-boned our bus. Hit it actually twice. It was going so fast.
Dozens of passengers on the buses were injured, some sent to the hospital, but officials say no injuries appear life-threatening. The tour bus driver expected to be issued a summons. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Scott Pringle, for that. Take a listen to this. 4th of July is over. Now retailers are pivoting to do this.
It's called BTS, Back to School Shopping, and retailers are hoping you'll get out and get your shop on. The National Retail Federation says Americans will drop $37 billion with BTS items from clothing to backpacks. Fortune.com says parents will drop about $661 per child. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
I mean, I can't even believe that we're already talking about this. And what is it, the 7th of July? So there you go. Anyway, San Diego police are on a manhunt for a murderer. Bree Tennis has the details.
Police say 44-year-old Herman Salazar may have killed his wife and crossed the border into Mexico. On Tuesday, a security guard found his wife, 32-year-old Leyva Garcia, dead in an SUV near the outlet stores in San Isidro. She was found with blunt force trauma to her upper body. Santa Barbara County officials say Garcia was reported missing last Sunday. San Diego Police Department Homicide Unit is now working with the Guadalupe Police Department as well as Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Bree Tennis, for the information right there. Anyways, we are 32 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out doing that thing that we do. It is Freeform Friday, so we got something for you.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
On Feature Story News, I'm Rebecca Bunzen in Tokyo. President Joe Biden's administration did not authorize secret meetings held by former top U.S. national security officials with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, the White House says. U.S. media outlets reported that secret talks between the U.S. and Russia have taken place to try and end the war in Ukraine. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
According to NBC News, the group consisting of former senior U.S. national security officials and Russian officials, including Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, met in New York in April. They reportedly discussed how to end the war in Ukraine and what to do about the territory captured by Russia during the conflict. It's unclear if other meetings occurred or what other back-channel discussions may have taken place, although the Biden administration is said to have known in advance about the April meeting. The US government has so far not confirmed whether the meeting took place. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
Twitter has threatened to sue rival Meta over its new Threads app, according to multiple media reports. Threads has been downloaded more than 30 million times in less than 24 hours after its launch, Ira Spitzer reports.
In a letter published by multiple media outlets, Twitter's lawyers accused Meta of using trade secrets to build the microblogging platform Threads, which has immediately become a serious competitor to Twitter. Meta's new platform appears to have capitalized on user dissatisfaction with Twitter since polarizing billionaire Elon Musk bought the company last year and instituted a series of chaotic changes. One competitive advantage that Meta has over Twitter and other would-be competitors is that Threads accounts are linked to Instagram, a platform that already has more than 1 billion users, significantly more than Twitter's user base. Ira Spitzer, San Francisco.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is on her first visit to China and is expected to hold talks with several senior Chinese officials. Analysts say that this is America's chance to try to reframe its relationship with China, but both sides have said they don't expect a breakthrough. Andrew Wood is in Hong Kong.
There's a limit to what a Treasury Secretary can do. I think the best thing is that she can reiterate that America does not want to, or she thinks it's a very bad idea for America to decouple from China, that although the two countries may be rivals in so many ways, militarily, philosophically, and so on, they are still very, very linked economically. And if America decoupled from China, it would be bad for America. And it would also be bad for China too. And if, and by implication, if the world's two biggest economies are having a bad time, that's also going to be bad for the world economy in general.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking in more detail today at the latest threat to Twitter. It comes in the form of Threads, a new app launched by Mark Zuckerberg's Meta and tied to the company's Instagram product. Threads was launched earlier than anticipated, an effort by Meta to take advantage of instability at Twitter under Elon Musk's leadership. And in its first 24 hours, 10 million people signed up for the service. But Twitter's former head of news, Vivian Schiller, says with multiple alternatives, there's still a long battle for users ahead.
We don't know. The audiences are bifurcated across all of the lookalikes, and a lot of people like myself are still on Twitter, even while we're trying out the new platforms. But here's also the critical thing. Twitter was never huge in terms of compared to the size of, say, YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, never. But it had heads of state. It had business titans from around the world. It has movie stars and pop stars and very influential people. And because so many journalists like ourselves are on Twitter, it also means that those messages on Twitter get amplified. So it always is punched above its weight. And whether Threads can pull that off, again, remains to be seen.
Threads is not yet available in Europe due to regulatory disagreements between the EU and Zuckerberg's tech giant, and that will, at least over the short term, limit its reach and visibility. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. President Joe Biden's administration did not authorize secret meetings held by former top US national security officials with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, the White House says. Twitter has threatened to sue rival Meta over its new Threads app, according to multiple media reports. US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is on her first visit to China and is expected to hold talks with several senior Chinese officials. And that is the latest feature story news. Rebecca Bundin reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you. It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know Our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Okay, you are still listening to the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that. This is the Jay Allen in the Morning Show, but also known as the Rated R Safety Show, depending on what hour you're taking a listen to us at. It is 42 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out, and we are having technical issues with Radio Big. So if you are trying to get over there, and all of a sudden you got to take a listen to some music, nothing bad there. It's not Lincoln. These things happen. And guess what? Life will go on, dear John. Life will go on. Believe me, the young lady working in the background is trying to kill it over there. I'm trying to make sure that this works. I'm just going to say this. Calm it down. It's all good. Life will go on. We'll get it moving. Not happy about it, but life happens. And this is the great part. Anyways, this right here, let me tell you, is Wav Haven. Yeah, Wav Haven. Not Wave, because there's an E missing. But he come alive. Well, I hope he doesn't come dead. So that's a whole other story. You can take a listen to this if you take a streamer-emer on YouTube Music, Apple Music, or Spotify. So keep that in mind as we are talking. So there you go. So thanks to Wave Heaven for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yep. That's what happens. That's what happens. So anyways, let's talk real quick about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. Seriously. I don't know how to explain this any more than what I normally try to, but if you are looking for help, they have immediate ways to help support you. All you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. That'll get everything moving and grooving for you. What you do is you just go directly there, click on the section that says Find Help. Listen, they will help out with anything with addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, and anything that you can think of in between. Listen, they want you to know that no matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected with help. To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. So keep that in mind. TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com for more information. That is for sure. So let's do this. I know it's a little bit earlier than what we normally do it, but I want to get you some moments here. I want to get you some moments. So why don't we bring some John Smalls in here and let him tell you about the Motivation Minute.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, July 7th, brought to you by Jen.
Well, hold on. That is not what we're supposed to be playing. We are supposed to be playing the Motivation Minute. What happened? How about we get some motivation?
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Kyle. Steve Blank said, "People talk about getting lucky breaks in their careers. I'm living proof that the lucky breaks theory is simply wrong. You get to make your own luck. The world is run by those who show up, not those who wait to be asked." I love this quote. I've been told numerous times about how lucky I've been in life. I've never really bought into that theory. I've been more of a fan of the if you work 80 hours a week, something's going to eventually work out theory. Sadly, I've leaned on that one a little too much, but I love what I get to do for a living. So I often find myself working more than anyone has ever expected of me. And I think that works just fine. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Without the Sabbath, without rest and renewal, we'll never have the inner resources to embrace a hurting world. In our weariness, we'll be tempted to resent the needy with their ever-present claims on us. But renewed by a Sabbath of rest, we can embrace them with the love of Christ. The Sabbath empowers us. It restores our spiritual and emotional vitality so we can return to our mission with renewed passion. Jesus said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Lord Jesus, give us rest and restore our souls so we can minister to others without burning out. In your holy name we pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
California is updating its opioid plan to include the growing threat of the street drug tranq. Governor Gavin Newsom says he's worried about the dangers of fentanyl mixed with the veterinary tranquilizer xylazine. Newsom and legislators are trying to make naloxone more widely available to reverse fentanyl overdoses, but the treatment, well, it doesn't always work if the person has also taken tranq. A study shows Missouri recording the largest increase in maternal deaths among white and Asian Pacific Islanders of all states over the last 20 years. The study is out of Boston from Mass General's Brigham and Women's Hospital. It shows that maternal mortality in the U.S. in general more than doubled over the last 2 decades. Missouri spends less on public health per person, $5.86. than any other state. Health Update, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, that is for sure, as we are hanging out. And it's currently 49 minutes past the top of the hour. Anyways, let's get into some other information as we are hanging out doing all of our stuff. Should we talk about this? Are you a big streamer-emer? Like, seriously, like, do you stream a lot of stuff? Let me ask you this. Do you stream a lot of stuff, and do you have children? Yeah, I know it's a kind of an interesting twist on questions to ask, but there's some reason to my madness on why I ask these questions, because, listen, this might be of interest to you.
Come on, Maria! Our big adventure begins now! Ah! Get it up, get it up, get it up!
The highest-earning movie of the year will debut on Peacock on August 3rd. The film was super successful at the box office, collecting $1.3 billion worldwide. I'm Trey Thomas.
So there you go. The biggest movie so far of the year will be streaming on Peacock in the very near future. So there you go. Have you heard about this case? Because I want to talk about it. The OnlyFans model accused of stabbing her boyfriend to death in their Miami condo is due to court later today. Natalie Rodriguez has more.
26-year-old Courtney Clenny, jailed since August on a single count of second-degree murder for stabbing and killing Christian Obumseli, her boyfriend, with a kitchen knife, is set to face a judge in a negligence hearing. Obumseli's father filed a wrongful death suit against Clenny, the owners of the luxury high-rise building where the murder happened, and the property management and security companies involved. Christian's estate is suing Clenny for the cost of his medical care and funeral arrangements, loss of future income, and his family's pain and suffering. Natalie Rodriguez, Miami.
Okay, so let's talk about New York real quick with some things going on. A Brooklyn man is being sentenced for the 2017 murder of a building superintendent who was hired to replace him. Paul DeCastro has more.
Keith Floyd was sentenced 27 years to life in prison Thursday after being found guilty of second-degree murder and concealment of a human corpse. The district attorney's office says the 44-year-old Floyd killed 41-year-old Daniel Rivera by asphyxiation and then tried to cover up the crime by burying the body in an unmarked grave outside his grandmother's home. Floyd was also set to be evicted, and Rivera was going to move into his apartment when the murder occurred in September of 2017. Paul DeCastro, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Paul, for that information right there on what exactly is going on. Take a listen to this. Staying in New York for a second. New York City seems to be struggling to fill office space since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. Scott Pringle reports.
The real estate company Saville released a report unveiling Manhattan's available office spaces at nearly 20%. That's a new high, with more than 70 million square feet unoccupied. The report says the financial district is having the toughest time coming back with nearly 30% of its office space available. The high office space availability comes as landlords struggle to attract new tenants, with high interest rates and remote work remaining an option for many companies. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
I mean, think about it for a moment. If you're charging like some outrageous rates in regards of being able to do some of this stuff and take a look around at what the hell is going on, are you going to be extremely interested in going in and watching what is going on in regards of, okay, I can work from here, I can work from there, and pay a high revs in regards to doing it? I just don't think a lot of people are going to do that. And then several food delivery apps are trying to block a city-mandated wage hike for drivers scheduled to take effect next week. Paul DeCastro has more. This is coming out of New York again.
Grubhub, DoorDash, and Uber Eats are among the delivery apps suing New York City in an effort to stop the minimum wage increase for delivery drivers. The law is set to go into effect on July 12th and would increase the minimum wage to $17.96 per hour, not including tips. The food delivery apps are seeking a temporary restraining order to stop that from happening, arguing the way that the city calculated the pay raise was flawed. Paul DeCastro, NBC News Radio, New York.
I mean, at what point in life do we not talk about that? How the way the government does something, it's flawed. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about some new movies coming out real quick. The Insidious: The Red Door comes out today. It's rated PG-13. And Joyride comes out as well. Don't have a rating for that one. Just a little FYI. Let me give you some news of the weird. McDonald's has announced it's now offering wedding catering, not a joke. Both of the company and company's Indonesian Instagram account says that McDears Let's make a wedding moment more memorable with a wedding Merki package. For about $200, the package includes 100 chicken sandwiches and a 100-pack of 4-piece chicken nuggets. A company spokesperson says there are other options available as well, but pointed out that the wedding package is not for holding a wedding at McDonald's store, but only for the food. If a wedding actually at the McDonald's restaurant is that what you're after, be aware that several years ago, one branch of the fast food company in Hong Kong revealed that they would perform marriages inside of their store for $382. The package includes invites and audio equipment with the cost of food extra. And I can't help to grimace the thoughts if you get what I'm saying there. Okay, take a listen to some other news of the weird real quick. Welcome, brave golfers, to the Algram Acres. Yes, the macabre mini golf course that sits in the basement below the Algram family funeral services at a local funeral home in Chicago's suburb of Palatine. It's decked with out with coffin skeletons and other creepy decor. Robert Algram, yep, the real name, turned the basement into a family funeral home, into a mini golf course back in 1964, and the family has maintained it ever since. The course is closed during services out of respect, but when it's too hot or too cold outside, neighborhood kids flood the funeral home basement to put some balls through the mouth of skulls around the tombstones and miniature cemetery. So just so you know, the neighborhood appreciates the family sense of humor and entertainment it provides literally for thousands of people each year. Plus, it's free. So, I mean, you can't go better than that, right? But, or how does the saying go? If you're good at something, never do it for free. I mean, I'm always in a loss of a romance in a wilderness of pain, just so you know, as we are talking there. Anyway, so let's take a look around at some other things. Let's take a look at some things that happened back on this date. As I take a look around real quick, back in 2019, the U.S. women's team brings home the second consecutive record-breaking fourth overall World Cup win. Only Germany has won more than one title. The win sparked a nationwide debate over the gender pay gap. Lawsuits brought into light for the women's national team averaged less per game between 2015 and 2019 than the male counterparts, but it's worth noting that the women's team was more successful. That happened back in 2019. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, I have some of those for you. Dylan Sprayberry turns 25. Ashlyn Irwin turns 29. Alesso turns 32. Tom Sandoval, 40. Sinister Gates, 42. Grease Summers, 54. Jim Gaffin, 57. Patrick O'Connell, 66. Cheryl Duvall, 74. And Ringo Starr turns 83 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those for you. It's World Chocolate Day, National Strawberry Sundae Day, Global Forgiveness Day, Tell the Truth Day, National Macaroni Day, and National Dive Bar Day. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on if you want to take a look around and do those. So there you go. Some information always going around and about, and all of those fun things to do. If you need a joke for today, I have one of those. It was at first sight, then I took a second look. It was love at first sight, and then I took a second look. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What weird potato chip flavor or flavor combos should exist? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. A study shows that people who do this 20% more on the weekend. What is it? Smile. So let's put a smile on that face as we're about to go into the weekend. Anyways, thank you for hanging out and taking a listen to what the hell we have going on today, and possibly a view. Sorry about the mess up here on Radio Big, but hey, those things happen. We'll take care of that. Podcast version will be coming out shortly of this thing, probably in the next couple hours or so. That's the way that it normally works. So we'll get that your general direction. And if you want to come hang out, I'll be going over to Radio Big for the next couple hours or so. Or if not, you can stay on Safety FM and take a listen to what Sheldon Primus has to say about the world of safety consulting. There is no doubt about that. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Oh, you thought I was going to forget? I wasn't going to forget. Let me leave you with a deep thought for this weekend. Count your age by friends, not years, and count your life by smiles, not tears. That's something to think about this weekend. Now I'll say it. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you. Mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.